Hello friends, I am Saijuddin. Welcome to my channel Easy to Learn. From my experience in public health research and data analysis, I make this kind of videos so that you can learn how to do a data analysis easily. I hope you can learn data collection and data analysis if you watch all of my videos. If you have any queries, then you can write your comments in the comment box and I will try to answer your queries. Please share the video. I will request you to subscribe my channel if you have not done so previously. I make these videos both in English and Bengali. You can choose which one you feel comfortable with to understand easily. I noticed that it is difficult to understand for many students what kind of statistical test need to be selected for a particular type of data. Nowadays, there are many statistical software programs available such as Stata or SPSS, Minitab, Excel, etc. and their operation manual are also available online. So, if you know what kind of statistical test you need to do for a particular type of data according to your hypothesis, then you can do data analysis easily by using any kind of statistical package. But before doing data analysis, you should have a clear idea about statistics, data, variable, p-value, etc. I hope you will continue to watch this video to learn about them. I realize that many students face problem understanding statistical test by reading statistics book. So I will try to make you understand with examples. Now question is that what is statistics? Many of us know that the meaning of statistics is only data analysis, but it is not true. Statistics is the science of collecting, analyzing, presenting and interpreting the data. Statistics is the method of data collection and summarization. Statistics are mainly two types: descriptive statistics and inferential statistics. Now, what is descriptive statistics? Descriptive statistics are tabular, graphical and numerical summaries of data. The purpose of descriptive statistics is to facilitate the presentation and interpretation of data about the population. Now, what is inferential statistics? Based on the data sample taken from the population, inferential statistics make predictions and inferences. In this case, we need p-value to make a decision. Now, why do researchers need to know statistics? Researchers do statistics to find the answer to a question. For that, they developed a study design, collect the data, enter the data, analyze the data and interpret the data. Then they need to prove mathematically to check how much error there is in the data and how much the findings are correct or true. Nobody will believe their findings without a mathematical proof. Hence, researchers need to learn statistics. Now give an example. Suppose your research question is, does oily food consumption increase body weight? You collected some data regarding the type of food consumed by the persons and measured their body weight. Then you entered the data, analyzed the data, got p-value less than 0.05 and made conclusion that yes, consumption of oily food increase the body weight. Here we need to learn two things, that is, what does statistic do, and second, what does p less than 0.05 mean? First, I will talk about question 1. What does statistics do? Statistics calculate the error in an event. Suppose you made a story with 100 sentences, that is what you did from morning to evening. One researcher checked all sentences of your story and found that 3 sentences out of 100 were wrong. The meaning is that statistics calculate how much error there is in your research event. Before going to discuss question 2, I shall tell about probability. Probability is chance. The probability of an event is a number between 0 and 1, where roughly speaking 0 indicates the impossibility of the event and 1 indicates the certainty of the event. For example, you ask someone that what are the chances it is going to rain? He or she says that 50-50 chances, means there are 50% chances it is going to rain and 50% chances it is not going to rain. Now we'll answer question 2. What does p less than 0.05 means? The meaning of p less than 0.05 is that the chances of error is 0.05 in 1. If you multiply 0.05 by 100, then chances of error will be 5%, which means the chances of correctness is 100 minus 5 equal 95%. So we can say roughly that if the chances of error is less than 5 in an event, then there is a chance for the event to become true. In the above mentioned story, 3 sentences out of 100 were wrong, which is 3% error, that is less than 5%. So we can say that the chances for this above mentioned story to become true. Now I will talk about what is data and the type of data. Data is defined as the collection of numbers, characters, images and others that can be arranged in some manner to form meaningful information. We can also say that data is the different type of information collected in a particular format. In statistics, there are main 2 types of data, that is grouping data or qualitative data and the continuous data or quantitative data. Now, what is grouping data? These type of data are used to describe the nature of the data being collected or analyzed, and they help determine the appropriate statistical test to use. There are different types of grouping data. These are nominal data and ordinal data. Now, what is nominal data? Nominal data is a type of data that consists of categories or names that cannot be ordered or ranked. Nominal data is often used to categorize observation into groups, and the groups are not comparable. Further, we can categorize this kind of data such as binary or dichotomous data and nominal data with more than 2 values. Now, what is binary data? It is a statistical data type consisting of categorical data that can take exactly 2 possible values, such as answer is yes or no, right or wrong, success or failure. Now, nominal data with more than 2 values. In this data, answer is more than 2 values. For example, race, it is white, black, Asian. Religion, that is Hindu, Muslim, Christian, Buddha, blood types, that is A, B, ABO, that is marital status, unmarried, married, divorced and separated, etc. Gender is also a nominal data, and if it is only male and female, then we can say dichotomous data. But if gender is male and female and third gender, then it is also nominal data. I categorize nominal data into two groups, such as binary and more than two values, because it will be easy to understand when we will do logistic regression. Now, nominal data is analyzed using non-parametric tests such as chi-square test and Fisher-Exact test. These are used to compare the frequency or proportion of observation in different categories. Now, what is ordinal data? Ordinal data is a type of data that consists of categories that can be ordered or ranked. However, the distance between categories is not necessarily equal. Ordinal data is often used to measure subjective attributes or opinion, where there is a natural order to the responses. For example, education level. This is elementary, middle, high school, college, all are education, but they have different level. Job position like manager, supervisor, employee. Agreement like strongly agree, disagree, strongly disagree, etc. Ordinal data is analyzed using non-parametric tests such as Mann-Whitney U-test and Wilcoxon-Sain-Rand test. Now, continuous data or numeric data or quantitative data. Continuous data is the data that is measured on a continuous numerical scale and that can take on a large number of possible values such as data for weight or temperature variables. Continuous data can be further classified interval data, ratio data and discrete data. Now, what is interval data? When it does not have absolute zero and negative number also have meaning, such as for a temperature in degree centigrade variable, in this case minus and 0 have the meaning of temperature. Now, what is ratio data? When it does have an absolute 0 and negative numbers do not have meaning, such as weight, height, etc. Negative and 0 have no meaning for weight and height. Now, what is discrete data? When it measured count or numbers of events such as the data for class attendance or children number or population or page number of the book. For example, population number 100, 100 and so on. According to source of data, we can also categorize the data into two groups, that is primary data and secondary data. Now, what is primary data? These are the data that are collected for the first time by an investigator for a specific purpose. Primary data are pure in the sense that no statistical operation have been performed on them and they are original. Now, what is secondary data? They are the data that are sourced from some place that has originally collected it. This means that this kind of data has already been collected by some researcher or investigator in the past and it is available either in published or unpublished forms. This information is impure as statistical operation may have been performed on them, and example of is that government health data available on the government website or published in government report. Many people analyze this kind of data and published paper. Sometimes continuous data can be turned into categorical data according to our requirement. For example, continuous data for an age variable can be turned into categorical data by creating categories like 0 to 5 years, 6 to 11 years, 12 to 18 years and above 18 years. This can be useful if you want to analyze your continuous data using statistical test designed for categorical data. You cannot go the other way around and cannot turn categorical data into continuous data. So, if you have the choice, then for maximum flexibility, it is preferable to collect as continuous data. Now, I will talk about what is variable and the type of variable. A variable is characteristic of interest that you measure, record and analyze. Basically, variable types: independent or predictor variables and dependent or outcome variables. Now, what is independent variables? An independent variable is the variable you manipulate or vary in an experimental study to explore its effects. It is called independent because it is not influenced by any other variables in the study. This can be grouping data or continuous data. Now, dependent variable. A dependent variable is the variable that changes as a result of the independent variable manipulation. It is the outcome interested in measured, and it is depend on your independent variables. Dependent variables can also be grouping data and continuous data. Distinguish between independent and dependent variables can be tricky when designing a complex study or reading a research paper. During data analysis, which test you will perform is depend on outcome variable. If your outcome variable is categorical, then you will have to do a chi-square test or other non-parametric test. And if your outcome variable is continuous data, then you will have to select a parametric test if your data is symmetrically distributed. For non-symmetric distribution continuous data, you will have to use non-parametric test. Now, question is that how will you understand which variable is dependent and which variable is independent in a study or analysis? Because an independent variable from one study can be the dependent variable in another study. It depends on your research question and study design. Suppose your research question is, do breathing problem occurs due to air pollution? Here, breathing problem depends on air pollution, because you will suffer from breathing problem if you live in an air polluted area. So, breathing problem is a dependent variable, but air pollution does not depend on breathing problem, and hence air pollution is an independent variable. But air pollution can be the dependent variable in another study. Suppose your research question is, does air pollution occurs due to forest fire? If forest fire occurs, then there is a chance of air pollution. Here, air pollution depends on forest fire, So air pollution is a dependent variable, but forest fire does not depend on air pollution. So forest fire is an independent variable. I hope you understand the meaning of statistics, data, variable and p-value. I will talk the analytical step in the next episode. Thank you for watching this video.